Welcome all to the latest edition of RGN. This episode is a continuation from the previous, where we take a look back at some of the new games released for the Commodore Amiga in 2019. For this month, we'll start off with Riga AGA, a horizontal shooter for your PAL Amiga 1200, 4000 and CD32, developed by Richard Lowenstein. From the beginning, you'll note that the game looks and feels like a commercial grade game with high production values. The graphics are quite attractive, the pumping music soundtrack and sound effects are quite pleasurable to the ears, and there is a sophistication with the way the game moves in most part, as a steady mind is just as integral as fast reflexes when it comes to progressing through the game. Reshoot only gives you one life, but as you collect speed and weapon power-ups, not only does it enhance your ship capabilities, but it also allows you to take multiple hits. The more power-ups collected, the more hits you can sustain, as each hit decrementally knocks down your power-up counter. This works quite well and ensures that you feel like you're playing something more than just an endless shooter. The shooting mechanism feels very good. Shooting complete attack waves will result in bonus, and blasting a large asteroid is quite satisfying. Despite the fun experience on offer, RGN does lack a couple of things that prevent it from being a standout hit. Every now and then, the game will throw up on-screen narratives to drive the story along, but these feel tacked on rather than being an integral part of the game. A proper implemented narrative, especially between levels, would provide better engagement. Also, the first couple of levels feel a little repetitive when it comes down to enemy waves. What is offered is good, but you're kind of left wanting to see a little bit more after progressing through the first few minutes of the game, rather than seeing the same enemies attack you time after time. As you move into the third level, the game kicks up a notch in all respects. It starts to feel fresh again, and it's hard not to be impressed with all the colours available on screen.
Speed up.
Riga AGA is definitely one of the strongest releases for 2019, but it's such a shame that the digital release is priced somewhat high in my view. Coming in at just under €30, I feel that it falls short of this price point and will detract many from giving it a go. That's a pity, because it's a game that deserves a broader audience. We have showcased the C64 version of Vegetables Deluxe a couple of times on RGN, and it was a pleasant surprise when Double-Sided Games announced that the game was being ported across to the Amiga. Vegetables Deluxe is a Match 3 style puzzle game where the objective is to swap adjacent vegetable shapes to form lines of 3 or more in a row. Vegetables Deluxe includes a number of game modes, such as a standard classic mode that allows you to play until you run out of moves, the shopping mode, where you need to match up the same number of vegetables as set out by the left-hand panel before being able to level up. And the countdown mode, where you have to find a match before the timer expires, otherwise you lose a shuffle, which acts as a life. I think the Amiga version of Vegetables Deluxe would be my favourite, and I'm confident that fans of this genre will enjoy it.
You are already
The Ninja Zombie Killer is an endless attack wave game by Edu Arana. You take on the role of a ninja with a simple objective: kill all the zombies and bats that come in your direction. As you go through each wave, the enemy becomes a lot more difficult to kill. And that's it. I was hoping that this would be more of a scroll-up platform type game in the vein of Ghosts and Goblins, but sadly not. The game looks and sounds very good, but it does suffer somewhat from slowdown when too much is going on screen, making a little ninja feel like he is walking on the moon. A fun game, but not much replay value. Black Dawn Rebirth is finally available from Double Sided Games. We showcased the preview version of the game on RGN back in October, so go check out that video if you want to find out all the ins and outs of the game. Black Dawn Rebirth kicks things off with some great intro scenes to set the backstory. Let's take a moment to appreciate it. Black Dawn Rebirth is a sci-fi horror dungeon crawler with some great production values. This is not a fast-paced game, and your initial time with it will be spent trying to orientate yourself around the somewhat confusing corridors. A digital map is available, but only once you locate it on the second level. I think the game would be instantly more accessible if the game featured an auto map from the beginning. Stick with it and you'll come across your first enemy to deal with, and you'll start to become absorbed by the process of exploration, finding access cards and weapon upgrades as you progress your way through 21 levels spread across 7 dungeons. I personally love it, but appreciate that this is a game not for everyone. In last month's video, we covered a preview of Rero, an upcoming homage to Hero. Well, here we have a completed Hero tribute in the guise of Jet Hunt. Jet Hunt was developed by Coagulus for Amiga AGA systems. While Jet Hunt plays like Hero, the graphics are a little bit too shiny for my liking and lack granular textures, making it look cheap. I also initially found that there was a lack of weightiness to controlling a jetpack and was somewhat discouraged. But as I played through the levels a few times, I started to appreciate the game's controls and was zipping around the caverns with ease. This one grew on me very quickly. Graphics aside, it's quite fun, and it's free. For those of you looking for a solid arcade gaming experience, you'll be pleased with Graham Cowie's enhanced port of Rygar. This fan-made port requires an Amiga 1200 or 4000 and is very close to arcade perfect as you can get. Compared to the original arcade version, Riga AGA includes 3 additional levels and includes a change to the backdrop graphics on 3 of the original levels. The port features a 2-button mode so that you can use one of the joystick buttons as jump, and there is a password system in place to help you with starting off games at later levels. As a port, Riga AGA is very good, and fans of the original game are sure to enjoy it. And best of all, it's also free to download. So there you have it. I hope you enjoyed the second part of our 2019 retrospective new Amiga games. The RGN Roundup is by no means an exhaustive list of all games released, but it should be enough to give you a taster of what's emerging throughout the new Amiga gaming scene. I personally can't wait for 2020. Thanks for watching, and until next time, bye for now.